honestly, I was over corporate America years before, right? They had messed with our pay structure because once reps make a certain amount, somebody in my level of rep shouldn't be making that type of money. My cohort shouldn't be making that type of money.
Yep.
All that. And then it was just like, I was hungry to try something on my own.
Hey there, welcome back to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. I'm your host, Jän Simon, and this season we're raising the bar, diving into the passion, purpose, and defining moments of leaders who don't just aim high, they live there. Big ideas, real stories. Let's get into it. Today on Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation, we're sitting down with Jän Bressler, the proud owner of CertaPro Painters and the next chapter in a family business story that started back in 2011. Jän's parents, Randy and Irma, built the business from the ground up with hard work, dedication, and a commitment to serving the community. Jän officially joined the business in 2014, but like so many second-generation leaders, his story is about more than simply stepping into the family name. It's about earning trust, learning the business from the inside, carrying forward a legacy, and eventually asking the big questions. How do I honor what was built before me while still becoming the leader I meant to be? Before business ownership, Jän was an athlete, a college baseball player, a competitor, someone who understands what it means to show up, practice, fail, adjust, and come back better. And today, that same mindset comes into his role as a business owner, husband to Lydia, father to Brett, sports fan, golfer, traveler, and yes, a proud pug dad to Daisy. This conversation is about family, work ethic, pressure, transition, and the real-life journey of becoming the person others are counting on. Jän Bressler, welcome to Above and Beyond.
Thank you, Jan. Looking forward to being on.
Awesome. Well, hey, lot to dig into. You have a storied past. I won't say checkered, because that would probably throw out the wrong picture. But let's talk about Jän. Growing up, what was your early childhood like?
Early childhood was amazing, really and truly. First and foremost, I think I have two of the best parents, and I'd put them up against anybody out there. Growing up was really about sports. I played soccer, basketball, baseball, my whole young life all the way up through high school and college. Really took baseball on, and that's really like all my memories. My life's centered right around baseball. It's centered around the trips for baseball. It's centered around the practices, the different coaches and everything I had. And, it's funny. My dad even just recently reached out to me and was like, did you ever get burnt out because you played so much? Honestly, no. Yeah. I did not. I really enjoy it. I still enjoy it to this day. I'd love if I could still play it.
Yeah.
It's what everybody has, that little happiness bug in them, and that's what it is for me.
Yeah.
So that was really, truly my childhood, man. I lived to play.
That's awesome. Now, did you grow up here in Arizona?
I did. Born and raised.
Okay.
Actually, one of the few out there. Lived here my whole life. Besides 1 year, I actually traveled to Kansas to play some college baseball.
Okay.
Kind of a interesting shock a little bit to me.
Yeah.
Going from a Arizona town to a town of about 40,000 people. It was definitely a little weird, but one heck of an experience for growth and all that.
Where in Kansas?
It was in Hutchinson, Kansas,
I'm not
just
familiar.
outside of Wichita.
Okay.
Great little town. I ended up following a college coach that had recruited me out of high school out there.
Okay.
Because the current college I was at just wanted to make me a pitcher, and I still wanted to hit and do all that.
Gotcha.
So I followed him out there and was able to do both those, and then signed to actually come back and play in Arizona, and that's when I hurt my arm. 2 surgeries later, it was time to finish school.
Hung up the glove.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's too bad. My sister lives in Wichita. We actually just moved my parents out there.
Oh, really?
That's why I asked. Yes, I will actually be going for the first time for my niece's wedding in July.
No kidding.
It'll be my first experience to Kansas. And I've been looking at the weather. It's like 90 degrees and 85% humidity.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
I'm
and
like,
and it's going to be windy.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. It's the humidity and wind, and then, even trade off in the wintertime, man, that wind just on your face just
Eats
feels
at
like
you.
glass.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So grew up playing a bunch of sports, but focusing on baseball. You said pitching. Did you have a specific pitch that you were like known for, or were you just kind of good at all of them?
I wouldn't say good at all of them. I had an average fastball. Wasn't too bad. I threw in the low 90s, which was decent at that time. Nowadays everybody throws 100.
It's crazy.
But I would say my best pitch actually was my changeup.
Okay.
Mixing speeds, keeping people off balance because I didn't throw hard enough at times to blow good hitters away.
Yeah. Right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then, other than that, were you more of a utility player, or did you have another position you played?
I pretty much played everywhere besides catcher and first base.
Okay.
Because at my height, there's not many first basemen out there.
But catchers, I mean, you'd be a good little pug back there.
Yeah, right, exactly. If I had a little bit bigger of a target. I weighed a little bit less back in those days.
Did you? Okay,
yeah.
so you kind of grew up a little.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Growing up in Arizona, playing sports. Now, did they have a lot of club sports back then when you were a kid, or was it more?
It was in the, when you're 12 and below, not really. It was just your little leagues and stuff like that. There was a few different travel teams when I got to 14 to 16. And then back in my day was really getting picked up by what they called scout teams.
Okay.
So like I got picked up by the Cubs where they start watching you through high school, maybe have a chance to be drafted or whatever. But I know nowadays it's completely different. There's so many club teams. Coaches are actually being paid to coach, and it's just more of sounds like a business at this stage. And it's like you have to be on a club team. Back in the day, you just played high school ball.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah. It's insane to me. I mean, growing up in Washington, and we had a different season for every sport, and that was basically dictated by the weather, whether you could be outside or not. But, and playing baseball, I mean, aside from Babe Ruth and AAU, and then you had, high school ball or whatever, but I don't have a recollection of any type of club other than when I was in wrestling, they called it the Mat Rats. And when I was younger, they had started this group called the Mat Rats, so young kids could go play. And I think they probably had basketball, but it wasn't like a club sport today. It was more, hey, we need something for our kids to do while it's freezing cold outside, so we're going to
put them to work. And do something,
exactly.
Do something productive.
Either you're going to play basketball or wrestle. So, one of the two.
You got to do something.
But brothers and sisters?
No, only child, actually.
Child.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that explains a lot
does.
right there.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God. And then so you went away to Kansas for a short period of time.
Yep, just a year.
Came back to Arizona. You were going to play at ASU.
Yep.
And you blew your shoulder out.
Yep, blew my shoulder out actually lifting weights, not even on the diamond.
Oh, really? I was going to say, was it rotator cuff or what'd you do?
Yeah, I tore my labrum.
Oh, wow.
Yep, had surgery, and then, about 6 months later, I retore my labrum again, had surgery again, and even to this day, I can't even throw a ball anymore.
Really? Did you try to come back too fast? Is that...
No, I did everything to spec and all that kind of stuff. I took time. I took 2 years off of school, actually. Went back and volunteered coach at my old high school, Mount Point in Ahwatukee, and it just never healed right, man. It was just one of those things where it was luck of the draw, and then, it was time to grow up and figure out what the heck I was going to do with my life.
Interesting. So talk to me about that, because that's got to be quite a blow. I mean, you've been playing baseball, we'll say, your whole life. You move away to play baseball. You come back to play baseball. You're going to get a shot in, we'll say, the big leagues as far as college ball,
yeah.
Right? And then you blow out your shoulder, you blow out your labrum. I mean, that has to be a pretty heavy defeat hit. How did you work yourself through that?
It was definitely very tough because that's what I knew, and again, going back to my parents, my parents took care of me. I never held a job. They always paid my rent, my tuition if needed, all that. And then it was just stripped of me one day and you're done. So it was definitely not a fun time in my life. A little bit of a dark period. Not saying I ever would have made it or done anything like that, but it would have been nice to have to hang the cleats up on my own terms.
Yeah, for sure. I can only imagine. I mean, and you hear so many stories of, I'm going to say guys, but guys and girls that they put their heart and soul in that, and something happens, right? And then that dream is dead. To kind of have the door slammed in your face versus, okay, I've ran my course, right? Yeah, it's just got to be tough. That I don't know. My words are stuck.
Yeah, I get you. It was real tough. I mean, obviously, when you're getting to that age and you played your whole life, you do see some writing on the wall. From that standpoint. Did I think I could possibly compete at the next level? Absolutely, but I didn't even know what that looked like if I would have that opportunity. So you are forecasting yourself, being like, okay, well, I'm going to get my education paid for. I'm going to get an education, so that's my fallback plan, right? But then when it's stripped of you, your fallback plan becomes complete reality.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, that was a big shock.
Yeah.
Now, 2-3 years earlier than expected.
Yeah.
And then, like anything else in business nowadays, you got to adjust, right? And that's what I had to do, is look in the mirror and be like, hey, I gave it all I had. I gave it a good run. Unfortunately, I didn't quit on my terms. But, that's that's my story.
Did you ever think about teaching yourself to throw the ball left-handed?
Ironically, I did.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, absolutely, I did. But I'm like,
Can't do
I
it.
don't know. I'm 19 or 20 now.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's you just
Should have started earlier.
yeah. You're done, Jason. You know what I mean? You're done.
That's funny. That's funny. So it's interesting. I mean, a dumb little story that literally just popped into my head. When I was a kid, I had a friend. His name was Brian. It's funny. I have a lot of friends whose name are Brian. But we used to play what would probably be considered wiffle ball today. We've called it cork ball. So
Okay.
we had a softball that we took the strings and the leather and everything off.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had a cork ball that was taped. In fact, I think I still have it in the garage. And we used to play in his backyard because there was a power line across the street.
Okay.
And if you hit it over the power line, that was a home run.
That's your home run.
So it was like we used to do that all the time. But did you ever have anything like that as a kid, like neighbor kids or baseball buddies that you're like, you get together and just do crazy stuff together?
Oh yeah, we lived in growing up in my middle school, high school era. We had lived in a cul-de-sac, so we would always use tennis balls and
Okay.
hit in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And then our house was all the way at the end, so if we hit our house on the fly, that was a home run.
Nice.
Type thing. And all the other people loved it. In the neighborhood, they would actually come out and watch us from time to time.
Oh, really?
And
That's
pitch
cool.
to us and try and strike us out.
Yeah.
They loved us. Minus one guy did not like us at all whatsoever.
There's always the one guy.
Yeah, ironically, he would call the police on us all the time, keep our tennis balls as evidence, and come to find out this guy was a detective at the Phoenix PD.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was weird. He would my mom, I remember many times my mom getting home from the grocery store, and he'd be like hiding behind his little mesquite tree with binoculars, like looking at us and stuff.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy even for me when I was in 8th grade or whatever it was.
That's crazy.
Nowadays, I'm like, wow.
That's messed up, man.
Oh yeah.
Did high school in that time frame? I mean, you said your parents were very influential in your life. Was there anybody in school that you look back on now that really kind of had a pivotal role in your development and helping you guide through what you wanted to do?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely my high school baseball coach, Coach LeBlanc. He was always an advocate for us, making sure that we were getting what we needed to get to the next level, all that. He taught us discipline. He taught us, what wins and losses are, the successes, the failures, how you motivate that to become a success next time. And then most importantly, my pitching coach, Coach Kipper, I did lessons with him almost every Saturday, ex-Major League pitcher, just a top-notch individual that taught me really and truly partially how to become a man when I was still in high school.
That's cool.
He just really explained it for me and just said, look, you gotta transfer this that I'm teaching you here on the ball field to your real life, because this ball field game is going to run out at one time.
Yeah.
Things that when you're a freshman, sophomore in high school, it's never going to run out.
No.
Right?
10 years from now at 16 is a freaking long time. Those people are
100%.
old.
Yeah, yes.
And 99% of the people that try
Yep.
by 26 done.
Yeah, you're done. You're
so-
completely done.
That's insane. I had another question that I totally was going to ask you, and it just jumped out of my head. You said you didn't hold any jobs through school into college. Did you in the summer? I'm assuming it was all about playing ball. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Yep.
you just
Pretty much always played ball, man. I mean, growing up in Arizona and all that, you can play 24/7, right? A lot different than Washington.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
So, nowadays I'm thinking like, okay, normally I'd play a game at 5 o'clock at 110 degrees. I'm like, nowadays, no way.
Yeah.
I'm over that heat stuff.
We had wooden pitching mounds that they put in the gym.
Yep.
And we had squishy balls. I don't know what they were, like a sponge ball.
Yeah.
That we used to play with.
We had the same concept in Kansas because obviously the weather in Kansas is just awesome at times.
Yeah.
So we'd have an indoor practice facility and same thing, wooden mounds that we'd wheel out. It was weird for a city boy from Arizona.
That you're used to. It's like, what, we're playing inside.
Yeah, I
What?
was like, how do I throw off this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have one memory that sticks out? Like if you could go back and relive that memory today, do you have one of those?
As far as we talking baseball?
Yeah, baseball in that time frame.
Yeah. I would say my biggest memory would be lucky enough to had a really good senior year from a stats perspective and be selected to play in the AZ All-Star game and then the Super 50 game, meaning that we got to go out and play at Chase Field.
Oh wow.
Which used to be Bank One Ballpark
Yeah.
at the time, but I got to play a game there,
Oh, that was
which was unreal at that age.
Yeah.
Senior in high school, running around where the pros play. 2002 is when I graduated.
Okay.
Right, year after we won the World Series. Thinking the celebration that was there, and now I'm actually here on the ball field.
That'd be cool.
What made it even more special? That game was on Father's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so my
how
dad
cool.
was loving it.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
That's cool. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a memory that I think I'll obviously have forever.
Actually, I had moved down here. I moved down here in '99, but I remember the Diamondbacks winning the series. And,
Oh yeah.
I mean, we were partying in our street. There were several of us. We get together all the time and do fire pits in the driveway and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. But we're all out there. We got TVs set up, and
It's awesome.
it was so, because none of us could afford to go to the baseball game.
Oh,
It's
not at all.
So
Yeah.
we're watching it, and yeah, it was awesome. That was a phenomenal series.
Oh yeah.
Great way to win it.
Yeah, one of the best out there in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure. Not being biased, but
Yeah. What was the difference between playing baseball in high school and your exposure to college? Was there a difference? I mean, is there a development difference in there?
there's a huge difference. I mean, from just a competitive factor all the way to how good people are, really and truly. I mean, you take, your average high school team, and there might be 2 or 3 kids that are hitting, 3, 4 that are moving on to the next level. Well, in college, it's all 3, 4 hitters. It's all ace pitchers. It's just a completely different level of competition that was very eye-opening,
Yeah.
to be honest, because in high school, there's certain kids when you're on the mound, you can just throw fastballs. You keep doing that at the college level, you're going to get rocked.
Yeah,
100%.
Throw me another one right over the top.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you out.
Doesn't matter how hard you throw or
Yeah.
anything like that, they're still going to hit you.
Did you, in baseball, I never got up into the baseball stuff. I played baseball. I didn't get into high school and whatnot. Do you spend a lot of time researching the players that you're going to be playing against? So like when you go up, you're starting pitcher, who's coming up and what they're doing?
Definitely in more the college level.
Okay.
High school level, again, you knew a couple of the guys that were good or whatnot just from playing with them in the scout league ball, or you just know through the years, right? In college, yeah, I mean, your recruiting coordinators, your assistant coaches are going to other games to scout them. Their people are there to scout you. So, yeah, you have a little bit more of a setup. It's pretty much an entry level into what I can only imagine they do now in the big leagues.
Yeah. I can't. The amount of data points that they now are tracking and can figure things out is just absolutely insane.
It's crazy.
So, talk to me about your parents, Randy and Irma. Mm-hmm. They supported you through it. Was it the classic mom in the stands screaming and yelling, and dad standing at the fence with his hands on the fence yelling at the umpire? Was your mom more the yeller? I mean, what was that dynamic like?
Mom was definitely more the yeller,
Okay.
I would say, in general. Dad was always more supportive. Dad was the one that's watching, taking notes, and is going to get with me after the game, let me know, hey, what I did bad, what I did good, or if I, did something in the field that probably wasn't really cool or something,
Yeah.
then he'd let me know, that straight up more in private. He wouldn't really call me out in the game
Yeah.
or anything, but they were your typical fans.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic. I don't think they missed more than I can count on one hand games.
That's cool.
And it's probably because they were sick or something. But
Yeah.
looking back on it, man, everything, their schedules revolved around my schedule,
Yeah.
really and truly.
That's really cool. After baseball ended, what happened? What'd you do?
So I picked up a job at CVS Pharmacy because I knew I had to make some money,
Okay.
right? And that ended up being my college job for the rest of the way.
Okay.
And I went back to school and finished school in a year and a half. Basically went full time. Did summer school, did over winter break, and just wanted to get done at that point. Because also too, looking back on it, I think it was a little bit of a focus and a mindset for me that part of my life was done. So I needed to fill my void, and I didn't want to have downtime.
That makes sense.
So I went from, taking a ton of credit hours a year and a half to get done, along with working, and then getting ready to start my life in the professional spectrum.
After college, did you continue at CVS, or what did you do then?
So I stayed there for a little bit, and I was looking for my next real professional opportunity. I ended up actually aged myself here, taking a job at the Arizona Republic selling newspaper advertising.
Oh,
And so
lovely.
my dad might have helped me get that job.
Okay.
He had been with the Arizona Republic about 24 years at that time.
Oh, wow.
And he had done advertising sales himself. Started out as a little peon like I was, worked his way up and was running the whole Scottsdale office.
Oh, wow.
So obviously he had some connections and such. And
Yep.
my first boss, Jim, his sons and I, obviously, because my dad and him were friends, we played a lot of baseball and kind of grew up together and stuff like that. So I knew him. So I think I had a little bit of an in to start with.
Well, and I think everybody kind of needs that when you're getting started, right?
Absolutely.
So-
And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, oh, I'll sell newspapers.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm a salesman. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Type thing, but I'll figure
Start
it out.
calling people.
Yeah, 100%.
And you said when baseball was over, you can't even throw a baseball anymore.
Not without my shoulder popping out of socket.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding. Can it now not be repaired at all?
I think it's just gone.
Okay.
You know, 2 surgeries in that labrum area.
It's just gone.
Yeah, and I got a
Nothing
slight
left to work on.
rotator cuff tear.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I think it's just done until possibly later in life if I start having issues from it or something, then maybe I got to go get a scope or something. I don't know. Deal with it then.
Just play golf.
Yep.
Does it impact that at all?
Does not.
Okay.
Doesn't impact golf. I can bowl, you know, all that stuff. When I do bowl, my arm gets a little sore the next day, but that's probably just because I'm out of shape.
Gotcha. Yeah. Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Right?
As I try to hide my stomach from the crowd.
Oh, yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, no. Talk to me about CertaPro. So it sounds like at the point where you started at the Republic, your dad was still there.
Yep.
When did CertaPro enter the picture, and how did that come to be?
Yeah, so quick cliff notes on that. You know, my dad was still at the Republic, and then the good old '08 hit here in Arizona. And then by '09, the Republic decided to shut down their Scottsdale office, their Mesa office where I was at, Deer Valley, and a couple other satellite offices, and move everybody to downtown. So in doing that, they had no need for middle management, which is my father. So about 6-8 months before he gets his severance, he gets his walking papers. Right.
That's brutal.
And all that. Or I'm sorry, not severance, but
Retirement or
yeah,
whatever.
I forget the word off the top of my head. But so he got his walking papers, and he just said, he's like, you know, I've wanted to get out of corporate forever, and this is my time to do it now because it's forced upon me. So come hell or high water, I'm going to start a business.
That's crazy.
So he took about 2 years to figure out what he's doing and researched a ton of different companies, resales, other different franchises, and then just settled on paint, ironically.
Okay.
So
No prior experience to it, just
nothing. His big deal was he thought that in the painting trade in his lifetime, and unbeknownst to me at the time, he wanted me to join. I didn't know that.
Okay.
But in our lifetimes, that technology was not going to take over painting.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think that could not be any more true. That's right. I don't know.
Yeah, it works.
But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, AI can do a lot of stuff. And could it paint? Sure.
Right.
But limited, right? I mean, in a controlled environment and whatnot.
Yeah.
What you guys do, I don't think so.
No, you still need that hired help, man,
Yeah.
to furnish your jobs and make them done.
Yeah.
Back into the business, AI might help a little bit here and there, but as far as actually getting projects done, you know, there's no robots or anything doing those in my lifetime, at least.
Well, and the beauty of when he started it, 2011, right?
Yep, first year.
So, yeah, 2011, you're already about 5 to 10 years into a lot of the front edge of the boom out into this area. And a lot of the homes at that point had been through that '08, '09 crash.
Right.
Which then you've got a need for coming in and fix up painting, that sort of thing. So it's kind of it seems like a great time as far as theoretically to start that business.
100%. And, you know, you had a couple years of learning curve, I'm sure, for him. I mean, I had it when I joined the business with him as well. So it was definitely a good time, and there's a lot of opportunities. You know, I don't think the painting trade is as big as it is now because there's a ton of competition out there now.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like it was like that before. But also, you know, you got to think of the growth of the valley.
Yeah.
And, you know, 14, 15 years has been tremendous. So that's, you know, more people coming.
Yeah, for sure. But you didn't join until 2014.
Correct.
So what were you doing at that point?
So obviously, when that happened to my dad at the Arizona Republic, I was like, I'm out. I started looking around and things like that. And ironically, had a coworker at the Arizona Republic that had moved over to a company called Arizona Office Technologies in the copier IT software arena. He had been trying to get me for a while, but I was just happy where I was at. So when that happened, I called him the next day. He had me an interview that week, and I was hired within a week.
Oh, wow.
So I took off, went over there for a few years till I joined my parents, basically. Great industry.
Yeah.
Did real well with it. Had some awesome accounts. D-backs were my account. It was same. It was sales.
Yeah.
Straight sales.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Base salary was nothing. It was all about, how much money you can make in commission. And, in your 20s, that's what it was about, right?
Yeah.
It was about like, oh, what's my bank account? How much can I do? This and that. It's funny now in your 40s how life changes where it's not all your bank account. It's all about your family, your friends, the experiences you can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting my time back.
For sure. Exactly.
And all that.
What was the big difference, obviously, between being at the Republic and being at the copy company? Was there a difference in how those organizations were run, or what did being in those teach you about how eventually you might want to run your own business?
Really and truly, what it really taught me is that I was learning that I did not want to be in corporate America. It just, for me, it was not me. I've always been a salesman. I always do my job. I hang my numbers, and they still don't leave you alone.
Yeah.
It's like you need report after report of what you're doing that minute and why you're doing your report that minute. They want to know why.
Yeah.
And that's what I was realizing. But it's like, as a kid in your 20s, how do you take that next step?
Yeah.
Right, to do that. And thankfully my father had. And again, I didn't realize that he was thinking about me in the business.
Yeah.
And then when he approached me by it, I was like, okay, let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. It's funny because I think about some of the corporate sales jobs I've had, and that's everybody's managing to the numbers. It's like we've so forgotten about building relationships.
Oh, 100%.
It's just like, which I get it. I mean,
yeah,
you got, especially if you're answering to a board of directors or whatever, it's like it all trickles down.
Yeah, it just trickles right down to you. And if you're doing your job, it's like, okay, that's cool. What'd you do for me today?
Right. Exactly. Oh, you landed a huge account? Awesome. What else you got in the pipeline?
Exactly. You're exactly right.
It's like, wow, thanks.
Yep. Just leave me alone. I'm doing my thing.
Exactly.
I promise.
Yep, exactly. Talk to me about when your parents started the franchise with CertaPro, and you're kind of on the outskirts watching them. I'm assuming relationship wise, because you guys seem to have a very close relationship, and you did do a lot of travel with baseball and things like that. What do you remember looking back now that you admired about what they were trying to build before you knew you were stepping into the legacy?
Just simply their work ethic. Growing up, obviously I knew they worked hard, right? But when you see it firsthand and you see them struggling to start with, right?
Yeah.
They went from corporate America with, I would imagine, halfway decent incomes, good life, to really nothing.
Yeah.
Right? That's what everybody says, about the business. Oh, you take a salary, this or that. It's like, no, it's our job essentially is commission based, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine starting this business with no knowledge, no customer base, essentially nothing to go on besides the backing of a franchise.
Yeah.
So I just admired strictly their work ethic, the time they put in. I would obviously not talk to them too much during the day, but we talked 4 or 5 times a week. Call them in the evening. Dad's grinding in the office.
Yeah.
7:30, 8 o'clock, figuring out what's going on. And I'm like, man, it's admirable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's going to make it. He's going to right size the ship, and this thing's going to be damn successful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you guys have basically almost all of the East Valley at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
It seems
almost.
like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of everywhere. When they started it, before you were approached by your dad to say, hey, think about this, was it ever anything that crossed your mind?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I saw where he's going. I made a couple comments here and there, like, hey, when you need some help, when you're ready to grow, let me know, type thing. Because, we had very open dialogue, open book between all of us. And, I told him where I was at in the careers and stuff. And, he said, he's just like, well, if you want to make a change, make a change. But if not, get to work.
Yeah.
Really and truly, get to work.
I can totally hear him saying that.
Keep hanging your numbers.
It's like,
yeah.
Sit here, either do it or don't.
Yeah. Right. And my mom's just like, oh, yeah, supportive,
Yeah, yeah.
real nicer. And my dad's just like, just get to work,
Yeah.
go sell something.
When you decided to make the move, a couple, 3 years after they started the business, was there something that happened within your corporate world where you were just like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. I'm going this direction. Or was it more, it just kind of felt like timing was right. The business was there at a point where you could step in and maybe from a sales perspective, help them grow it.
I think it was just perfect timing. Honestly, I was over corporate America years before, right? They had messed with our pay structure because once reps make a certain amount, somebody in my level of rep shouldn't be making that type of money. My cohort shouldn't be making that type of money.
Yep.
All that. And then it was just like, I was hungry to try something on my own. I was still young enough. I knew if I tried something on my own and I did not succeed with that I could come back either to this industry or get any other sales job.
Yeah.
At some point, whatever it is. I don't know. Sell RVs. I don't know.
Yeah.
From that. So that was just it was really just perfect timing.
Gotcha.
I felt like I had a foot out the door, but I had nowhere to go with that.
And when you stepped into the business, what was it that you did with the business?
Commercial.
Okay.
My focus strictly was commercial.
Sales?
Yep, commercial sales.
Okay.
So my dad handled basically all of residential. We didn't have really any footprint in commercial.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we did maybe $10,000 to $15,000 a year in commercial. It was just because it came through the door. Like, hey, can you do this? Yeah, we can do it, of course. But my job was to build that type of our business and get it from really ground level all the way up to the top.
How was that process? I mean, was that hard to get in there and really make inroads in it, or did you find it easier because you found other contractors weren't as morally upstanding? I probably shouldn't say that. But.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. This is a trade business. Everybody knows trade businesses at times, unfortunately. I would say it was tough in the get-go. One, because I had zero product knowledge, right? I knew nothing besides the random person that goes to Home Depot and buys a gallon of paint like myself because I got to paint my house.
Yeah.
Heck, I don't know if I'm painting my house with interior, exterior paint, to be honest with you. So I had no clue with that. So, I mean, there was a great, just basic knowledge of 6 months of a learning curve. There's so much that goes into paint for, whatever the product is needed. So that was definitely a big ramp up period. And then really just trying to understand how then I get in with these type of either contractors or customers, right? Because they've had JB's painting company that does all their painting for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So how do I break into that? Right? And which I get.
Yeah.
I would be this. That's what I want to get to.
Yeah.
With that customer, where somebody's calling them and they're like, "No, I use Jason with CertaPro."
Yeah.
So that took some time on its own there, and it's what we do now. It's networking, really and truly. I joined some organizations. I made some contacts. I did some lunches, some happy hours. Really got to know people. Got some shots finally on jobs, and we performed. And slowly and surely climbed their ladder to be their guy.
Gotcha.
Is really what happened with that.
Were there any aha moments in that where you kind of thought you had it figured out and you got smacked with a 2x4 that woke you up to go, oh, yeah, I didn't know what I thought I knew?
110%. And the easiest way to say that is by misbidding jobs.
Ah,
Misbidding jobs where you're like, I'm dialed in. I know what goes into that, what the costs are going to be, what our profit margin should be. And then you get done with the job, call it you do a $20,000 job and you realize your raw expenses are $23,000. It's like, whoa, I don't have it all figured out. That's really what happens.
Quick learning curve.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always say, man. If you ain't trying, you ain't messing up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's
Yeah.
crazy. As you watched your dad, so basically you guys worked together, if my math serves me correctly, around 11, 12 years?
About 12 years.
So
Yeah, hand and foot.
having watched him over that 11 or 12 years, were there times where you felt like things could have or should have gone one way, but he was pulling it another way, and you guys, and not to say that it was
Yeah.
a bad thing, but to say that the direction of the business just didn't go where you felt it should go because maybe you guys were at odds with each other?
Definitely at times, I mean, you're going to butt heads with regardless if it's your father, mother, friend, random person, just in business in general, right? On different things you say. But I can honestly say that in our line of business and what we were trying to achieve, which was obviously growth, and we had two verticals, right? I'm handling commercial. My dad's handling residential.
Gotcha.
So we have two different verticals that are trying to get to the common goal at the end of it. So we didn't have too much crossover. If we had problems on one side or the other, it was normally us going to each other and finding what the proper solution would be.
I see.
And then the biggest part of it is we never undermined each other. If I made a call or he made a call, we had each other's back. If we didn't like the call, we would talk about it in private on why you made that call.
Gotcha.
Maybe you should have did this or that. Just looking at it, almost a check and balance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were very lucky to have very minimal times where we kind of butted heads, so to speak.
That's cool. I think it's cool that, and I heard you reference this a little bit earlier with regards to baseball and how your dad kind of was the watcher taking notes, and then you guys would talk about it afterwards. And I think I heard at that point you said kind of talk in private, not calling you out in front of people. Having somebody that can correct you in a way that doesn't demean you, I think is so wildly important. And it sounds to me like your dad was able to do that.
Definitely was. And, both of us for that matter, being in sales and being in business your whole life, you learn to take constructive criticism the right way. Some people out there can't take it.
Yeah.
They think you're physically attacking them.
Yeah.
And that's not the case whatsoever. You're just trying to get better so you don't make those mistakes time in and time out.
Yeah. Talk to me about leadership. High school baseball, college baseball. After college, you go to CBS, then you go to corporate America. Now you're running and operating a business. Has your vision of what leadership is and how a leader should act changed over time?
Absolutely. I mean, at any different level or any different job that you have, being a leader is different. And I don't even think the true definition of leadership that you can really look that up in the dictionary and say, this is what it is. I think it's all tailored to what your job is, what you do for your crews, your people that are under you. And sorry. And the biggest thing about leadership to me is adjusting. I think that's the most important part of it. I mean, you can learn different characteristics on how you got to lead your team or what you should do. You can read a book, listen to a podcast, whatever you think, maybe get some key points, but you got to morph that into your own style. And really and truly what I think being a leader is being there for your team, having adaptability, and making sure that all your bases are rounded.
How do you correct behavior that isn't necessarily the direction that CertaPro wants?
Unfortunately, you got to get rid of people at times is really what it comes down to. You can try and, let them know what our standards are, our SOPs and all that kind of stuff, and that this is their last shot to do it. And if they don't adhere to it, then they're gone. We just got rid of a crew today because of it. They're not living up to what our expectations are set.
Yeah.
So they're unfortunately gone.
That's rough. It's rough because I feel like work ethic and in a lot of ways, not necessarily in the trades so much, although it is there, especially in the younger generation, this work ethic of entitlement, I feel like, has crept in. And nobody's going to know type of thing,
100%, yeah.
It's like,
You can pull once over.
yeah, if we cut this corner, no one's going to know,
Nope.
No one will come back and check our work or whatever it is. So I think that's, yeah, anyways. You've taken over the family business. We'll say that Randy left you a legacy to protect.
Yep.
What's the most important thing, aside from making sure the business succeeds, right? Because that's an obvious given, I think. You're not here to drive it in the ground.
Right.
What about the legacy is probably the most important thing for you to protect?
A couple different things. Really and truly, one being is that my parents left me one heck of a foundation, right? So I feel that I need to get this to the next level. Not for myself, but for what they did.
Yeah.
They laid the foundation out. They put the time in. They put their own money in to get it where it's at. And I came on just to prosper, right, is really what it comes to. So that's the huge part to me, that I want to keep that legacy going with the growth aspect for it.
Yeah.
But I also am extremely cognizant of our people that work from us. The people that are on the boots on the ground every day going out there. If I can help them succeed, I can grow this business and make their personal quality of life better, man, we have succeeded all around, right? Everywhere from the top for me all the way down to the people that are producing the work. If they're happy, making money, doing well, because that's what it's about, right? Nobody does anything for free when it comes to that. But if we can make them happy and just simply, Lon, improve their quality of life, man, I've done my job.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's powerful too. I think I'm going to say a statement which is probably a wild assumption, but I believe I've witnessed this enough over the years that I can make this assertion. In that, I believe a lot of people who don't own and operate a business think that the owners of the business are only focused on money.
Right.
And I think that, at least what I'm hearing you say, what I know in my heart, like I want, what fills me more than anything is to feel like the people around me are successful.
100%.
Like feel like I can contribute to helping them be the fullest person that they can be. Watching them experience success. Obviously I want it for myself, but it's for whatever weird reason so much more fulfilling to be able to give it to somebody else.
It absolutely is, John. I mean, it comes back to where at our ages, money isn't about everything anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's about watching a good friend of mine, JD, and a good friend of mine, Greg, that work with me, right? It's watching them be successful and being able to go do things with their family and enjoying showing up every day. I mean, that's way more self-rewarding to myself than collecting my paycheck with that. And again, like you said, everybody always thinks business owners just make this and make that and all that, and that's what they're focused on is all this money, and it's not what it's about, at least for me.
Yeah, well, I think for the small business owner, it is definitely not about that, right? There's a definite balance between scale and corporate. I think it's like, right, you want to grow the business, and there's a point at which the business becomes scaled where the operation is, I'll say, wildly profitable, and that can be whatever your definition of wildly profitable is.
Sure.
But there's a point at which it's like, okay, you realize that profitability, right? And then there's the point at which it's like, okay, now we're going to manage to the numbers, to how many calls did you make today? How come we're only on the phone 30 seconds at this point? How come, and those asinine questions,
Right.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you only did 3 appointments today. Why'd you only do 3 appointments? You're supposed to do 8. It's like, okay, but the quality doesn't matter. The fact that I spent 2.5 hours in an office
and I got a deal or something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
you're just like, come on now, like leave me alone.
At some point, that has to matter, which I've been in that situation where I mean, I worked for a company and I had to go to Colorado to release a product, and we still had the 5 1/4-inch floppy disks. That's how long ago it was.
Oh, yeah.
And if the office didn't have a certain speed of dial-up internet, I had to load it with the floppy disks.
Yep.
Well, I went into an office. I take this back. I left Arizona, left the house at 4 o'clock in the morning to fly to Colorado, to rent a car, to drive to northern Colorado.
Jeez.
So by the time I got to northern Colorado, it's probably like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Go into the first office, which is cold calls. I'm not even going into where they're warm calls. I'm literally walking in and saying, hey, I've got this product. Would love for you to try it. Just sell it, whatever. It doesn't cost you anything. Let me install it on your computer. First guy agrees to let me do it, but he's in northern Colorado. It's like 14K modem. And so it's just dead slow. But I started the download before I realized that it was a slower modem.
Okay, so you can't pull.
So I can't pull. I just got to let it go. So it's like, okay, it's going to be like 2 hours. So I'm like, hey, you want to go grab lunch? So I take this guy to lunch. We go grab lunch. We come back. Thing's still downloading. Get through the whole thing. Go to a second appointment. And by that time, it's close to the end of the day. And I've got to make... We're supposed to have a phone call at the end of the day to see how many calls I did and what the success rate, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, how many calls have you made? And calls being stop-ins.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, 2. And it's like silence. And they're like, okay, well, how many installs did you get? I said, well, I got 1. which is that one office, which was multiple computers, but the one office.
Sure.
And like, okay. So we go through the rest of it. They go kind of around the room. There were a couple other people that were not around the room, but around the phone. A couple other people in Colorado doing installs in other areas. And they're like, oh, at 5, had this, whatever. Get off the phone. I get a call from my boss. He's like, hey, my boss is pissed off because you only had 2 meetings.
Wow.
We got to figure out what we're going to do. I'm like, what do you mean we got to figure out what we're going to do? He goes, well, you only had 2 meetings. I mean, yeah, but I got an install.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I only had 2. I mean, and I literally walked him through. I said, I'm not up here jerking around.
Yeah, I'm not playing golf like I want to be.
Yeah, I'm working. So we kind of go through this whole thing, and I'm like, if you feel like you need to cover my ass, I'm done.
Right.
I literally will go home right now. I'm done. Because that's not how I'm going to,
Yeah.
But it's that whole thing, right? It's that
It is.
there's nobody taking into consideration that there are all these variables in the field that come into play. Anyways, I don't remember why I brought that up.
No, it's relative. It's relative to the corporate lifestyle, and I'm not saying it's a bad lifestyle because
No,
it's
I
not.
mean,
I had great jobs, great bosses,
Yep.
great people that I still keep in contact.
Great
to this
benefits.
day. Yeah, a lot better than what I got now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working corporate. I just realized quite early on in my employment history that I wasn't a yes, sir person.
Sure.
Somebody asked me, what do you think about this? My mouth doesn't stay shut.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't say, it's awesome.
Yeah, you don't play the corporate game. You tell them how
exactly.
you feel.
Exactly.
Right. Well,
And
it's just great.
I was told very early on that that's not the way you're supposed to behave, and I just couldn't change it.
No, that was not me. I was never going to be a C-level executive
Yeah.
or anything like that. I didn't have that in me.
Can't do that. So anyway, but it took me I had started but this agency, my agency, 23 years before I finally said, I'm just done.
Right.
I'm done. And because it was always, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready, and it, I mean, similar to your dad's and mom's situation where it's like, okay, somebody makes that decision for you.
Right.
It's like, okay, I could go get another corporate job, but do I really want that? Right.
Yeah. Right.
Or I could start this. Probably in their mind, they were thinking, yeah, legacy. I mean, Jason's here. We'll get this thing started. We'll struggle through not that you don't have struggles, but struggle through the crap piece of it first couple of years, get it on its feet, figure some of the things out, and then draw you in. What would you say is one of the hardest lessons you've had to learn or unlearn in business so far?
Quite a few, I'm sure. But if I had to pick one, of course, I think the hardest lessons to learn, especially when you're working for yourself, is failure. And in my line of work, failure essentially is, not winning a job going south, because it's like, I'm sure for you too, Jän, we put all this work into customer acquisition, and then they decide to go another route. And it's like, you respect their decision, of course, but you're like, well, what did I do that didn't get me? Was it price?
Yeah.
Was it how I presented myself? Did they not feel that I had a good backing of a company to get their job done? Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, that's the hardest thing to struggle with, I think, is failure. But going back to the baseball days, baseball is one of the sports where you fail more than you win, right? I mean, multi-million-dollar contract in baseball is somebody that gets hit 3 out of every 10 times.
Yeah, which is insane.
Right. So you fail.
It's like
theoretically, you fail
70% of the time. Yeah, it's like,
So you're failing all the time.
Right.
So you learn. So how do you take those failures and make them into a winning attitude? Because I've known you for years now, and I know you're a winner, right? And you want to win, and we all want to win, especially as small business guys. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So what can we take from failures and convert that into wins for the next time around?
And always trying to, and I really appreciate that. I feel like there's a propensity, and I think probably in your line of work as well, where you get to this point where you feel like, okay, we got this in the bag, we're good, and then all of a sudden you get that call, and they're like, yeah, we decided to go a different direction, and then you're like, can you share why?
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we just decided. It's like,
You're not the right fit.
yeah, it's like, but why?
Yeah.
Can you get? Because I can't get better.
Right.
If you don't tell me specifically what it is that we did wrong. And if it's, And I've had conversations with clients in the past where it's like, look, if the carrier pisses you off because they didn't respond to a claim the way you feel they should have, let me know, because we'll move you away from that company.
Right.
Right. They may be the cheapest thing on the block, and that's what's important to you. But, when you get a claim and all of a sudden they don't pay you for 6 months because they're trying to figure something out, and now you can't work a vehicle because you're waiting 6 months to get a payout on that vehicle, well, that just cost you way more than a little bit more premium,
110%.
So it's like, if you're pissed off at the carrier, great.
Yep.
Tell me, we'll fix it.
Right.
If you're pissed off at me, tell me. I may not be able to fix it with you, but I can at least be cognizant of it the next time it comes up.
Yeah, I'll learn. I won't do that again to the next guy.
Exactly.
Or whatever
Exactly.
the case may be.
It's crazy. And it's hard today, I think, in our society, and I would assume, obviously making assumptions, throw them all over the room right now, but I would assume that you are fighting price every single day on every single job.
100%.
That people don't care, oh, we're going to cut this line perfect.
Yep.
We're going to make sure that you've got a red wall. It really needs a
like a primer.
A primer,
or something.
yeah.
Yep.
We got to get the primer on first to make sure it seals out from bleeding through the blue that you want on there now, or the yellow or whatever. And you're just thinking about, oh, this guy charged me $1,000 less.
Right.
Well, let's see why. Let's talk about why, because there's usually a reason.
Yeah.
But anyways, you got me started down a rabbit hole. I didn't.
Oh man.
But it's that thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just as sensitive to price as everybody else.
100%. But when it comes to like the painting business, right?
Yeah.
Price is definitely a factor. I mean, who's it price not a factor to?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Even your people that are extremely more wealthy than the greater people, it's still a factor to them.
Yeah.
So, but it's all about how you present yourself and what value you bring to the table as well.
For sure.
That's what I always say. If we're losing jobs for price, I'm always checking to make sure that we brought the correct value to it. And that's just, unfortunately, for our business and our model, that's just not our customer.
Yeah.
But that's a customer for somebody else out there.
And I'm the same way. I actually literally was just having a conversation with a guy yesterday about the insurance industry, and he had asked me about a specific carrier and a coverage that the carrier had, and I said, if somebody wants that carrier specifically, they're not a client for me.
Yep.
And he goes, how can you say that? I said, because that company, in my opinion, doesn't have a quality product.
Yep.
And it's not worth my reputation to put something there and have to deal with that in the event something happens to the client. It's like this whole, it's just not worth it. He said, well, but I'm like, I don't care if they're thousands of dollars less than everybody else. Let them write the business, because eventually those clients are going to get pissed off and want to go someplace else. It's like,
absolutely. And that happens in our industry all the time too. We have obviously different paint manufacturers and different grades of paint, right? That affects longevity of the product and all that. And there's certain products out there, certain manufacturers out there that we will not use. If a customer's hell bent on it, we'll say, hey, try the other guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll use it. I have to warranty your project.
Yeah.
I have to look at your project for years. If it's an exterior, when I'm in the neighborhood, I know where our jobs are. I might go by and make sure it's looking good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that at your house because I know it's going to fail.
Yeah.
I'd rather you go with somebody else and not tarnish our reputation.
Weird streaks of watered down paint or something.
Yeah.
Communication. How important is communication to you, and what has the switch from being an employee to being an owner taught you about communication?
Simply, communication is the key to success. Whether it's good, indifferent, bad, whatever it may be, is you just got to be upfront with everybody. Whether it's your employees, your painters, your customers, communication is the key. Everybody wants to know what's going on. And if you don't communicate with them, whether it's to the customer, the end user, they're going to be lost, right? I mean, think about if we're painting your house and we're there 4 or 5 days and we haven't even touched base with you once, you're going to be like, what's going on with my project? Where are we at?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it. You can go out and look at your house and see paint, but it's like, when am I wrapping up? What's going on? But I simply believe communication is the key to success.
Yeah.
And open communication, that is. At our company, there's a complete open door. Anybody in the company can call me at whenever. I talk to employees at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night if they need something. I just think it's very, very important. And as I've gotten into being a business owner, I don't think I ever realized that as much.
Yeah.
Right? Because when I was just doing either my sales job for my dad or my sales jobs over here, it was all about just bringing jobs in and then going away.
Yeah.
For the most part,
Yeah.
right? On to the next.
Because you didn't have to worry about the servicing aspect or
All that.
the repercussions of whatever it is that
Yep.
happened.
And
Makes
now
sense.
it's like everybody looks at me for different things.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that, I got nothing.
Absolutely. Well, and it's funny because if you cross a line, we'll say ethically, that everybody's got that line where they're like, and it's like, I'm struggling for jobs right now or struggling for work, so I'll just take this one and we'll squeeze it, whatever. It doesn't take very long for news of how bad you did to travel.
100%.
So it's like, it's so much better. I mean, what do they say? Like, a bad review will, hit 1,000 eyes, whereas a good review will hit none.
Go unnoticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, so it's that whole thing where it's like, or most people these days, I think, at least I do, because you look at stuff at Amazon, it's got 500,000 reviews and they're all 5 stars.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, okay, these are bots. Doing these reviews. So I think people are starting to get desensitized to the reviews, right, online. So then they reach out to people that they know or community or what have you. So I shouldn't say did baseball. At this point in your life, in your career, in the business, has and I'll say team aspect of playing baseball helped you at all with where you're at today and running, we'll call it the team of CertaPro?
I would say absolutely. Team equals structure to me, right? You can't be successful on the ball field with 1 or 2 guys. Maybe in basketball you could, right? But in baseball, to be successful, you got to have a team of 1 to 9, right? And you got to have structure. With structure, people have different roles. And as long as everybody's completing their roles to where they should be, it's going to roll up to you have one heck of a team. And example, our team, I'll go to bat with our team any day of the week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Talk to me about CertaPro. We know you do commercial residential, exterior, interior.
Correct.
Is there a good time of year or a bad time of year to paint the outside of a house in Arizona?
You can paint year round.
Yeah.
Obviously, the huge conception is that in our summer months that we're in now, is you can't paint in the summer.
Yeah.
Right? All that becomes is there's a certain temperatures for different products that you can apply them. So that means that in the wintertime, we're starting at 8 a.m., right? And we're getting that 8-hour work day in. In the summertime, we're probably starting at 5:30 a.m., and we're working till, maybe 10:30, 11.
Gotcha.
So really and truly, you can do it. We're chasing shade, whatever it may be. But it comes down to is that having that communication with the customer as well of saying, hey, typically your job would be a 3-day job, right? Now it's maybe a 4 or 5-day job because our working hours are shorter.
Gotcha.
With that. So you can paint year round. And obviously at certain temperatures, certain times of the day, it's not beneficial for us to be throwing paint on a house because it's just not adhering properly, has proper dry times, all that. But most importantly, it's just not safe for our people. Is really
heat exhaustion, stroke.
Heat exhaustion. I couldn't imagine climbing a ladder at 120 degrees outside.
It's true. Aluminum ladder.
Yeah.
Do it.
Right.
I've put on Christmas lights in December with an aluminum ladder, and those things get hot.
They do, and you're probably out of breath like me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's shift gears for a little bit. Let's talk about you personally. Lydia.
Yep.
Your wife.
Beautiful wife, yep.
How long have you guys been together?
Gosh, we've been together since February of 2012.
Okay.
So been a little while.
So
we got married in October of 17.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you have a son.
Yep.
But it's Lydia's son?
It's Lydia's son,
Your son?
my stepson, Brett.
Okay. And is he in the business too?
He's not. He actually lives in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep, he's doing RV sales now up there.
Okay.
Doing very well with it. Hopefully he listens to that and knows that I would love to have him in the business at some point.
Someday
Yeah,
we could use a great salesperson.
we could.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're hired, buddy.
And I'll say, if you can sell RVs,
Yeah, you can sell some paint jobs here and there, man.
for sure.
'Cause-
For sure. When you're carrying the weight of the business, the ownership of the business, how do you balance your personal time and your personal life, protect the marriage, protect your relationship with your son, and all that while dealing with the stress of the business?
I've learned that, and I've learned from experiences, right? That the stresses of the businesses and everything that you have normally hits your significant other. Unfortunately, that's just the reality, right? That's the person that you can vent to, this or that. And I've learned through the years that I need to channel that differently, right? And I need to keep that with myself, and I need to basically have a teaching moment for myself. Take that stress, repurpose it. And for me to repurpose is just to grind and figure out why I'm having that stress and go fix that and make a solution.
Gotcha. Do you do any like personal development stuff? Are you into reading a lot? I mean, how do you self-develop? I mean, you seem quite wise. I don't know if you're just faking it till you make it
Right.
type of thing. But I mean, do you do anything like that where you take time out of your day to try to develop yourself and hone in on those relationships?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, been very lucky in my business ownership career to, really meet some really great other business owners that I'll call friends now, trusted advisors. It's great to just pick their brain on things, see what their pitfalls were, what their highs were. I can bring different things I have to them and really learn from them and where they're at now in business so I don't have to make those same mistakes, right? So a lot of that, just connecting with people, hearing different stories really helps. And then, I've read some different books and things like that. That's normally kind of reflection is my Sunday chore.
Gotcha.
Sundays are typically the days that I like to keep to myself. That's my one day a week,
Gotcha.
right? Where you can do the self-reflection, really think about how the week went, what you could have done differently, what you could have done better, and honestly kind of beat myself up a little bit at times with it because that's how I get better.
Gotcha.
Not everybody gets better that way, but I do personally.
Yeah. Travel.
Love travel.
Where's your favorite place you've ever been?
Ooh, favorite place I've ever been. That's a tough. I've been lucky to go to a lot of places, more domestically. We're trying to mix in the international stuff here soon. I mean, I've been to Mexico and stuff like that, but that doesn't really count to me.
Yep.
Favorite place I've been. God, that's a tough one.
Tempe.
Yeah, right. Mill Avenue. Back
Buckeye.
in college. Yeah. Well, Buckeyes is out there, or Bucky's is out there now.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I got a reason to go there, I
Yeah.
guess. Excuse me. I would say favorite place I've probably been. That's tough. I got a couple. I'm gonna go with two.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my first trip. So big baseball guy, as you know, right? My goal is to see every Major League Baseball stadium.
That would be so cool.
So I got only two left. So we're chipping
No
away at
kidding.
them. Yep, 28 to 30 done.
Wow.
Excuse me. So we're chipping away at them. So I would say one of the favorite memories I have and one of the favorite places I went was with my dad to Yankee Stadium to watch Derek Jeter's last home game.
Oh, wow.
We flew out, took the red eye, watched the game, flew out that night.
No kidding.
Absolutely amazing atmosphere, everything. It was just a kid's dream.
That is
All
so
that
cool.
to go with your dad. We did a huge trip with my parents back there to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Now, I would say one of the favorite trips I had was we went to Lake Tahoe for my wife's 40th. We had about 20 people with us,
Really?
and we just had, it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen, and we just had one heck of a great time.
The
whole
water in
time.
Tahoe is so clear.
It's unreal.
Amazing.
It is unreal. I would go back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never been in it, so I don't know how cold it is, but
It's a little chilly.
It is freaking clear. It is amazing.
it's so beautiful
Yeah.
there, and that was just one of my favorite trips and one of the coolest places that I've ever
awesome.
been that I never thought I'd go to,
Yeah.
obviously.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago,
Thin
New
crust.
York.
New York thin crust.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. I could eat pizza every day. Pizza and
No
popcorn.
kidding. No kidding.
Yep,
That's
100%.
funny.
Yep. Clearly
That's
I do.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we both have that same issue. But how involved, because I don't know, I'm going to ask a question and a little bit on the personal level. How involved in Brett's life were you as he was growing up?
So I met Brett when he was, gosh, he had to be, so what, about 12 years old,
Okay.
11, 12 years old. So I was very lucky to be involved in a lot of his life growing up. I would say, obviously, as he got older and things like that, it's been easier to connect and get involved a little bit more. We try and get up to Boise to see him as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, we both have responsibilities here, different things like that, and we try and bring him down here, as much as we can.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely now in life, and when he's in sales now, that's what I've done. We've definitely connected, a lot more on that level now.
Yeah.
Speak a little bit of the same language from time to time.
Does Lydia work in the business with you?
She does not.
Okay.
She's a loan processor
Oh, okay.
at a mortgage company.
By choice, you don't want her in the business, or?
I would never be adverse to that. It's always been, I like the two different streams of income
Yeah.
from that aspect of
Makes
it.
sense.
And I don't want to ruin what we have, right? And we have the separation
Yeah.
of that. And I don't want to bog her up with that, but growth is always there, and it could, at some point, maybe twist my hand.
Yeah.
So I would not be adverse to it.
We talked about the legacy that your mom and dad left for you. What do you hope your legacy is on those in your life right now?
Good question. I would say, again, the most important part about legacy is not really the material things of what you did. It's how you're remembered, how you treated people. That, to me, is way more self-fulfilling than anything on earth. I would just love to be remembered as a very respectable individual that did things that were right, and they can call me a friend.
Yeah.
That's a win for me.
I like that. That's cool. Oh, I would say you are a very, lack of better words coming out of my mouth right now, real person.
I appreciate that.
And I've obviously come to know you a little bit over the years, but I feel like you are very down to earth, real, say it like it is, and I appreciate that about you. So,
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. That's the idea.
have there been recently, and we'll start wrapping up here, but have there been seasons within the business that have really tested your mettle and made you feel like, is this the right thing? Am I doing this right? Should I change something?
I think that's weekly, if not daily at times.
Okay.
Right? I mean, this is a business that you try and stay in your own lane as much as you can, but you just got to cross over so much and be adaptable.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to just be in your own lane 24/7. It's actually impossible with that.
What do you hope your mission or your message is to your clients when you're dealing with your clients and you've got your communication and everything's clicking on all cylinders and it's great. Obviously you're selling a paint job, right? Is there something else? Is there more to that?
Obviously, we're in sales, right, to sell paint jobs and all that, but I don't think it's really us selling the job. I want to be a trusted advisor, a trusted consultant for them, and really understand what they want out of the project, right? Exterior, you're going to live here for a long time. Okay, well, we should do this, that. Oh, no, I'm selling it. Okay, this is how we should treat the project. I want that type of feeling. We're not out there trying to be the used car salesman type mentality and shove paint jobs down people's throat.
Yeah.
It's really just putting yourself out there as being an advocate for them and coaching them to what they need actually for their project. Somebody might call you and say, I need a whole interior done. Well, go out there. Do you really? I'm not trying to give my work away from our business.
Right.
But I also want to do the right thing. So I want people to remember our business, because there's a whole bunch of people in our business, that these guys were extremely trustworthy. They're not trying to take advantage of the situation, and I actually like them.
Have you had a situation, I mean, CertaPro is obviously a very large franchise.
Yep.
Right? And you're just a small piece in that large pond, we'll say. Have you had situations where you've had to overcome a misconception or misperception of CertaPro because of something somebody experienced somewhere else.
Absolutely.
How do you overcome it?
Doesn't happen too much on the residential side because we have our own turf territories that we kind of hone our marketing into for the most part. Yeah, we can go out of turf. If you had a referral for me, your house was in Tempe, I could go do that because we're, acquaintances and all that. But not too much in the res spectrum, but it's happened a lot, unfortunately, in the commercial spectrum. I've literally, when I went into the business, was trying to make some relationships and open some clients up and all that. I would get, oh, I'll never use CertaPro again. I used you guys. And it's like, well, hold on a second. If you give me 5 minutes, let me first of all explain that we're all completely different businesses. Under the umbrella, all the businesses do have certain SOPs that we should adhere to. So relatively, you should get the same experience if you work with them in Michigan and you work with me out here, but everybody runs their business differently.
Gotcha.
So 9 out of 10 times, I've only had one customer that when I told them we're completely individual businesses, you have me, you have our production manager, whoever that may be, has said no. Only one customer in my lifetime of doing this business was like, nope, you're CertaPro, you're done to us.
Done. Just,
Yeah, and that's not good.
Right.
Not good at all for the brand.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if you're not going to be a brand and team player, then there's no reason that you should be buying a franchise.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. How do people find your CertaPro?
Ours directly?
Yeah. I mean, like if I just go on and search CertaPro,
Yep.
is it going to give me you?
Depends.
Okay.
If you're searching from our zip codes on Google, then it will route you to our personal CertaPro website.
Okay.
My home CertaPro is called CertaPro Painters of Gilbert-Queen Creek.
Okay.
So if you were to Google that, you're going to find that. Obviously, you can always call us, 480-272-6770.
Okay.
Those are the best ways to do that. If you're in the Southeast Valley, typically you are in our turf. So if you did go to just CertaPro.com, put in like 85295 for a Gilbert zip code, you're going to get rerouted to my website.
Okay. And does it cost anything to get a bid to have painting done?
Not at all. 100% free estimates.
Okay. Cool. I feel like I should ask you more questions. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you would love to share with our audience?
I can't think of too much. I just really appreciate being on your podcast, and it's been a great experience.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Everybody who comes on the show gets a gift.
Okay.
You're no different.
All right.
So I've got a couple things here for you. I've got a challenge coin.
Okay.
Because you went above and beyond.
Love it. Thank you.
And you've been having a cocktail out of this nice.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Sweet.
But it's personalized.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
now you can go above and beyond.
Love it.
And I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you. I would consider you a friend, so I appreciate your friendship.
Absolutely.
And thank you for supporting the podcast and spending time with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Great experience.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jän. This is Jason Bressler, and I went above and beyond.
We truly thrive.